Hey, yeah, it's Taryn. It is Saturday, May 31st. Welcome. I posted my last string of videos yesterday, and Shelly at It's Only Stitching commented, and I guess I did not tell y'all that we did find out that the new grandbaby is going to be a baby girl. So it's going to be a girl this time. Um, Jacob's really excited about that. Addison, I believe, was just kind of doesn't matter, boy or girl. Um, I think Jacob's really excited because he thinks that means that he can talk Addison into being done with two, because she'll have her boy and her girl, but Addison wants 4 or 5 or 6 kids. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. I wanted to do that before I forgot again. So, yesterday I worked out of Quilts for All Seasons. I worked on my May quilt. And it wasn't good. It just wasn't good. This is what May will look like. I started in the middle, so I'm somewhere down here. And when I pulled it out, I realized that I think the last time I worked on it, I had to pull out a lot. And then this time again, I had to pull out some more. So I actually am minus stitching. I don't know what just flew across here. I actually am minus stitching instead of getting more in. I did add in this green because what I had to pull out was all over here and I was irritated. I replaced some of what I pulled out right in here, but decided to move this way for a little bit instead. So for the time I had available, I didn't really make any progress. So there you go. Poor May. And because of Mania, May doesn't get worked on that often. and then for June, so on Fridays in June, I will be working on this one. The wedding ring quilt is one of my favorite patterns. I don't know why, but I just love it. So I'm looking forward to this. I don't have it pulled out to show you where my start. Let's see. Poor May. Everyone else has so much done. Okay, here's where June's starting. Not very impressive. But there we go. That will be June's starting point. And then today, I worked on my friendship quilts. About to drop everything out of my lap. Overall, here's where this one is. I guess I needed it wider. So when I worked on it this time, I think it was a pull the other day too. I don't remember. I don't remember if I've shown y'all where I've gotten all the back stitching done here in the swing. I got this other tree in back here. I have done some back stitching here of the post. Today I added in some, I worked all over the place today. I added in this color in the shading here under the porch. I added in some of this. I added a bunch of shading down in here and started, this is the shadow from this bush. And I did work on the quilt also. And look, I started the one I keep putting off. That's only a couple of the colors in it, but I started it, so hopefully it won't feel so scary. But there you go. every little bit counts, right? I got some stuff. I got my July mini village. It's pretty cute, I think. I hope you can see that. And that one. Got some new project bags. Seem to be having trouble keeping up with them. And I got a different baby birth sampler. This one I had seen on eBay, and it just kept being on my mind because I thought it was cute and it was a little different. And so I showed Addison, again, the one with the little cactus on it that's kind of similar to Ryan's, and in this one, and asked her which one she liked better, and she chose this one. I just thought it was kind of cute, like I said, because it's different. I won't put new baby in there. And like right here where I was like, who's born on 3/50/01? But it's the little drawer knob, so I'll probably fiddle with that some. I'm thinking of putting the name, finding a fancy script and putting the name up here, and then like the date and the weight or something like that on these two. I'll figure that out. I got plenty of time. I mean, till December. I mean, plenty of time the way I stitch. But anyway, this is what she picked out. So I'm going to have to pull everything together and get going on it, because you know how I stitch. And she's been trying to pick out names, of course. Jacob already has what he wants picked out, and it's not what she wants. So she's trying to find something that they can both agree on. Ryan's name is Ryan Theodore. So I said, how about Theodora Ryan? So there you go. I think it's the perfect name. I don't think she agrees with me, but oh well. Okay, that's all for now. I will do my best to be back again tomorrow, but we know how that goes. Okay, back in a sec. All right, we're back. It is Thursday, June 5th. Ta-da! It's crazy how that happens, right? Let's see what I've worked on. I worked on this, I call it fall leaf. I don't actually know the name of it. I bought it. Oh, I don't know if I bought it from Etsy or my bobbin, but there's who designed it. Anyway, I just thought it's really cool looking. And here is where I'm at. I sit and look at it and I think, how much farther along would I be if I hadn't started this 3 times? So, oh well. But this time I filled in, there were some empty spots here that were like this darker color, and I filled it in places that were easily attached, and you know, where I wasn't going to count and get off. And then I think like all of this is new, and all of this down here, I feel like I got a lot done. But that's the thing, man, you think you've done so well, and then you pull back and look at it and you're like, oh man, it's really not that much. So anyway, there we are in that. And then I worked on, out of this book, or pattern, I guess, Homespun Elegance Miniature Samplers 7. I was doing, where's the sheet? This one right here. And I finished it. Hooray! There's a little bit of, like they had it back stitched around here, but I thought it looked fine without it. And I think there were a couple little back stitch silhouettes of birds in the distance, you know. But it's like, what just fell? Anyway, I thought it looked fine like this, so I called it even. I called it done. In the sheep I did with, maybe you can tell, there you go. Oh, what do they call this? The whisper thread. I had some and I was just like, okay, let's fluff up that little sheep. So, hooray, a finish. Ta-da. I won't complain. That's one off my list. I'm adding them much more quickly than I am taking them off. And then for 2 days, it came up 2 times. Santa's Magic, it's a Mirabilia. The first day I worked on it, well, here, I'll show you where I'm at. I am doing this on I think it's a 28 count mushroom Lugana. So I was filling in, like there's a bunch of empty spots up here that are beads, and I'll do those later. But I was filling in up here and discovered I was off by 1. So I had pulled everything out, and then in the time allotted, I maybe got to be 10 stitches ahead of where I was, and that was frustrating. But while I was looking at this and trying to decide where I was going to stitch next, I noticed that down here on these, on one stitch, I was a half a stitch off. And on one of these, I think it was like this one right here, because I go, oh my God, I'm knocking everything down. That was scissors. I go right to left and then left to right. And on my left to right stitch, on one stitch, I went 3 down to cross over. And of course, that was the one I counted off on for the next things. Oh, it's because I put in this like green, I guess that's a leaf right there. I stitched that in and realized it was too close to this one. So it was over here. I had counted that one leg of one stitch was off, and I had counted off of that one to get started over here. So I realized it here because it was off. So I had to pull that out and fix it, and I had a couple of these in this way that then were in the wrong place, so I had to fix all of that. I did that today and then came back. I fixed this one, but I mean, I had to pull out part of that one. I had to pull out all of these. So I came back and there was some stuff that needed to be filled in all of them, but I fixed my mistake and then completely, I put these 2 back in and filled in all of the rest of the stuff that was missing. I was so disappointed because I've got like white whisper thread to fill in a little bit in here and then some stuff right here, and I could move on to a different page. And I know it's a Mirabilia and it opens up huge and you don't have pages on it, but I made a copy of like the very middle page and I was going to be able to move on, but instead I had to fix mistakes with an S because it's plural, but it's better, it's fixed, and I know it's going to be beautiful. So I'll quit whining. Probably not. I probably will not quit whining about it. Let's see. Tomorrow, Kirsten and I are doing the 90-mile garage sale on Highway 90. It starts in the small town, but growing rapidly, of Seguin, Texas, and goes to Sealy, 90 miles away. We are going, this is going to be our third year to do it. We are going to go to Columbus, which is almost at Sealy, and we're going to start there and work our way back. Sealy doesn't have that many. I have printed out who's participating and the addresses and all of that. Sealy doesn't have that many. Columbus has quite a few, maybe 10 people that are participating. It's a very small town. So we'll go there. The next stop will be Schulenburg, which their Chamber of Commerce is who does this, and they have a bunch. We've learned over these years that Schulenburg is the best place to shop, and then we'll piddle around on our way back this way. But we've decided the best way to do it is go to our farthest point and work our way back towards home. Sorry if you heard my computer notifying me of stuff I don't care about. We have to leave the house at like 6 o'clock tomorrow morning to be able to be in Columbus as the first people open, just because it takes all day. Dax, told him we've got to get some stuff out of the back of the car because I need it cleaned out for us to go shopping at this. And he told me that I better not bring the car back home full. I think it was a threat, but I'm not sure. And he knows as well as I know that it doesn't matter. If I want to, I will. He just likes to pretend like it matters. What else is going on around here? I was going to tell you how many of my whips that carried over from last year that I have touched. So far this year, I am way behind, and I am going to have to do much, much better. It is not looking good to be able to touch everything unless I pick up the pace. I have touched 53 out of the, but I have 165 or something. We're halfway through the year. I'm not keeping up here. I've got to do better. Oh my God, I have to tell y'all, we have a spider that has built a web across our sidewalk, like right in front of the kitchen window. And I guess he's been nice and left like this little tiny spot where you can walk past. The first day I walked out into the yard on the way to the car, he had something in there the first day. The night before that, the first day we noticed him, the night before that, I had walked through a spider web. And I was like, oh my God, that's not like one of those sissy spider webs. It's like one of those very, very strong ones, which I don't know if he is an orb weaver or a different kind of spider, because I never remember the difference between how the two of them look. But he's big. He, she, it, I don't know. It is like, and I'm not exaggerating here, the size of a hermit crab. When I saw it the next day, I told Dax, thank God he wasn't at home when I walked through his web the night before, because that could have been me that he was up there wrapping up the next morning. I don't know. It might have been like a small horse or a deer. I don't know. His spider. For a spider, he is so big. I don't know. It's crazy. Carson and I were watching it a while ago, catch a bug, because it is right outside the kitchen window. I was washing dishes. You could just stand there and watch him. And he's too big. I don't have the nerve to try to kill him, because I think he'd probably take me out. let's see, what else? I think that's all. Maybe tomorrow evening, maybe sometime on Saturday. If I get anything fun and exciting, I will come back and show y'all. I do have to be sure to stitch tomorrow because, what is this year, 25? I have not missed a day of stitching, I think, since December of 22. And I'll be crushed if I don't stitch something. I don't care if it's one stitch. I will have to come out here and stitch something tomorrow. I'm trying to think. I think that's it. I think that's all I have for now. I'll let you know. My big thing I'm looking for is a high chair. Ryan's he's got it looks like a little it's one of those fold up canvas chairs, like you see at every outdoor event. Everybody has them. Around here you can buy them at Academy for like $6. The little it's not really, I was going to say vinyl, that's not like canvas like chairs. Anyway, he has a little tiny one, and it has a little tray on it for his high chair that we could sit on the table that he can sit in, but he's getting too big. So he needs a high chair here. And so that's like the big thing on my list. If we can find a high chair at one of these garage sales sold. And since we know it's going to be a baby girl, Addison went this week for another appointment, and the doctor told her everything looks great. He had a student that was working with him that was trying to find the heartbeat and had a hard time finding it because little baby Theodora was moving around so much. So it's all good. She had a good appointment and everything looks good. And this time around, she doesn't have an OB who's trying to terrify her and talk her into getting a C-section right away. But I need a high chair. And there's always baby clothes. So you know that I'll be looking for stuff for Ryan and cute little baby girl clothes, because now I can buy both. And that's about it. I will be back for you in a second. For me, tomorrow or Saturday, we'll see. But I'll let you know how it goes. All right. See you in a bit. And now it's Monday, June 9th. So, ta-da. Let's see. Kirsten and I did get up and go to the garage sale on Friday. We spent all day, I guess it was probably we left the house about 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was around 6 or 7 when we got back home. So that was good. I didn't even really buy all that much. I think I spent less than $75. And out of that, $45 of it was on a quilt. So I haven't gone over it with a fine-tooth comb or anything, but it doesn't have any big noticeable ugly holes in it. And I think it's probably a full-size quilt. But so $45 was a good deal. I've paid more than that for cutter quilts. So I was happy with that. Bought some things that I saw for little baby Theodora. I don't think they're going to go with that name, but oh well. But I did on Friday morning before we left, out of Paula Vaughn's Quilts for All Season, working on June, which is this one. I put in just a few tiny little stitches, mostly like this color right here. And for this color, that's the top of the picture right there for that section. Anyway, not a ton, but I had to leave. I mean, I got to stitch for maybe 30 minutes, so I had to leave, go do fun stuff. out of For the Love of Cross Stitch, January 1993. This is what it looks like on the cover. I think Dina did this part right here for her friend that collects Raggedy Ann's. But out of this magazine, I'm doing this Ho Ho Ho, but I'm not doing the duplicate stitch and doing it on a sweater. I'm just stitching it. And I found after I got all of this H done that I was off one stitch when I was trying to do this, which makes all of this not centered. So I just dropped down a little bit and started over. So this is how much I got in on that one. Yeah, I had a rough day yesterday. It was tough. Dax and I were out fixing the tin roof on a shed that's out at the edge of our property. Truth be told, I told Dax afterwards, we should have just pulled Wyatt's truck over there, tied a rope around a couple of the posts in this thing, and pulled it down. We have I think we're about to be here 21 years. We have never used it for anything. It's over there probably as a snake den. But some of the tin roof had come loose, and it was every time the wind blew, you could hear it flapping and make a noise. So we were over there dealing with that. And we were at one point inside, and where a piece was missing, Dax was putting some other stuff, screwing it in before he put the missing piece back on. So he was working from the inside, and I was holding the ladder, and a rotten piece from one of the cross beams broke off and fell and hit me on the back of the leg, right behind my knee, and scratched it all up. And then later we were at another part, and of course it was 100 degrees outside, so he's sweating everywhere. And the drill where he was screwing it in, it caught, and you know how sometimes they do, and they jerk. And the drill came, I was holding the ladder again, the drill came flying out of his hand. He screamed down, you know, he's like, watch out. And so I had to jump out of the way so I didn't get hit by, and it's a little one, it's a big one, by the drill. And then this morning, as the day has progressed, I have realized that I have chiggers. At first, you know, this morning I thought, oh, it must be a mosquito bite, but now they're all over, like around my waistband and all of that stuff. It's, so I'm so very happy about it all. I said, you know, I told Wyatt, this is a sign that you should come and help your father do these things. I shouldn't be doing it. I also worked on, out of Miniature Samplers 7 from Homespun Elegance. This is a booklet that was in a box of stuff that Sherry Smith had sent me. And I'm doing this one. In this one, again, part of it I had stitched 3 times because the chart for the colors right in the middle of the page is 2 charts. I think it's these 2. And the colors for this one are at the top and the colors for this one at the bottom. And I kept pulling, they share symbols that aren't the same color. So I kept pulling the colors for this one, and it didn't make any sense in this one. So I finally got it figured out, and I finished it. Hooray! There's a little tiny, there was back stitching like around this to block it in, but I'm happy with it like that. And I did my sheep in fuzzy yarn. What is the Rainbow Galleries? Oh, it's right here, Whisper. The Whisper yarn. So he's all fluffy and fuzzy. Now, who knows what I'm going to do with it, but I got that done. What else? What else? I worked on the Solitude yesterday by Mystic Stitch. I haven't ironed it for you because it's out of the Q-Snap, because I got a page finish. I got another page finish. So this time I will drop down and do this partial page right here, mostly because that's what I have a working copy of already. So that one's easy enough to just drop down and do it. It was so funny because when we were garage sailing and one of the places we were walking up, and as I walked by, there was a framed print sitting out for sale. And it was this. I was like, hey, wait, that looks familiar. Why does that look familiar? But now I know. I did not buy it. Did not buy it. Okay. I think that's all that I've got for now. I think. Addison and Jacob said that they have picked out a name for the baby, and they didn't go with Theodora, if you can believe that. But Hallie. They said they were going to name her Hallie. It's going to be hard for me to stop calling her Theodora, but I'll try my best. Okay, I think that's all. I'm going to go. I bought 2 more patterns, but they're at the office still because they were PDFs. But in my defense, they were on sale for $1.95 a piece. So I had to. It's the law. Okay. Honestly, I think that's it. So I will come back when I have something more. So yeah, I guess I'll see you in a second. And we're back. It is Sunday, June 15th. I'm just never going to be good at this everyday thing, obviously. Anyway, I hope y'all had a good several days in between. I actually do not remember what day was the last day I recorded, and I could go look it up, but I was too lazy for that too. So here we are. I think I've gathered the things that I've worked on since then. Pardon the hair. We've been at the cigar lounge. They had brisket and chicken and ribs and sausage and boudin and all kinds of good stuff. So we went up there today. Wyatt went with us, and now my hair especially stinks, and I had to get it away from my face. So anyway, we will get on with it. I worked on this Paisley Pumpkins, and it is from the Keepsake Cross Stitch Calendar from 2017. This is the SAL that Shelly and I are doing. Just anything from this calendar. She's not doing the same thing as I am. We're both pretty bad at SALs, so I really feel like it's kind of perfect. She lost hers for a while. She's found it again, but she hasn't finished it, and I haven't finished mine either, so we're perfect. Anyway, this is where I have made it to. This last time I finished some of these little loopy things on the leaf. Finished this one, little paisley. I'll have some back stitching on the inside. This gets up here at the top close to the stem and everything, and I came down and started this one down here. So yeah, there you go. That's where we are. At least I worked on it, right? And then I worked on this kit from, it's called the Dory. It's Red Farm Studio. Weekenders. I'm assuming it means you can make it in a weekend. So this is on my list of 20, which means it's part of my 20 oldest cross stitches. But when you have a lot, you don't get a lot of work done on any one of them at any time. But here we are. Worked more filling in the blue on the water, and I came down here and filled in some of this, getting out into the sand and stuff around the boat. There's still sky that'll have to be worked on and all of that fun stuff. I only have a couple of the little chigger spots that still itch. The rest of them went away, but I will just tell you right now that the one that bit me in my butt crack, I was so glad for it to quit itching. Jeez Louise. It's pathetic, y'all. It was awful. It was awful. Out of Sample the Seasons, this little booklet, I am doing this one right here. Let us give thanks. And I finished filling in. Did I fill it at the top? Yes. It has like ecru here in between the darker. So I got that filled in. Some at the top here, down here. I started adding in that main color here and then working on the sunflower. That one's going to be a sunflower, I believe. Yeah, right there. I feel like my voice sounds froggy. It feels froggy, so I apologize if it does. There were a lot of people there because of the brisket and all of the good food. So that means there's a whole lot more smoke. Even though they've got a great ventilation system, it can't keep up with the number of people that were there. But anyway, and then I worked on Spring Row from Bent Creek. And again, it's not big. There's no reason it should be taking this long. Oh, and I saw a tag on this. So I am stitching this on 18 count Celadon Ada. So there you go. That's where I'm at. So I'm about here on the pattern is the breaking point there at the end. And that's a little B-skip. But today I worked on this one today, and I did from this little bunny over. And I just, if I didn't have to do anything else, I probably could have stitched and just finished it today, and that would have been awesome. But no, I have to do other things. And I know I did not have to go to the cigar lounge, but it was fun. But I did have to do things like, I guess I have to. I cooked bread and went and picked up my grocery store order. I think that is, for me, from all of the COVID days, all of the stores that do curbside delivery now, for me, that's a net positive. That's one of the good things about that, because I don't hardly have to go into the store anymore. It's made me really kind of lazy, to be honest. I think that is everything, because I think I've shown you the other ones. Oh, I know what else I stitched on. I can show you everything. Fridays. It doesn't go in the other thing because its bag is so big. Olivon's Quilts for All Seasons, my June. We're in the month of June. My June quilt. It's this one. Love a Wedding Ring Quilt. Okay, I love quilts. And here's where I'm at. I'm just right in the middle. It is a lot of changing colors, as you can see. Lots of little ninja stitches, lots of confetti. I guess they're not really ninja stitches, but they're only, 2 or 3, maybe 4 if you're lucky, and then you move on to the next one. So it takes a long time. You know how that goes when you're constantly changing the thread. It takes a long time to get a little bit of progress. Okay, I think that is everything. Okay, yeah. I'm going to try to remember to take the computer with me to the office tomorrow and just go ahead and upload the video if I can get everything crammed together. I didn't do as much stitching because I've been working on my table topper swap. And just like always, I get down to the end and I'm like, I don't like this or that about what I'm doing, and make everything take longer than it should. So anyway, that's where I'm at. so so maybe next week there will be more stitching. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you everyone for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions. Thank you for watching and coming back. I appreciate you truly. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks, y'all. Bye.